the smoke is also forcing much of the Midwest into the red alert zone.
Especially places north of us, like Chicago. For at least part of the day today, Chicago's air quality was considered one of the worst in the world. Officials said Canada is on track for its worst ever year of wildfire destruction. And
then not far from us, take a look at Columbus, Ohio. This is their skyline tonight. We talked to local experts who say this level of poor air quality is rare for Kentuckiana.
Well, these are definitely the most significant impacts we've seen yet from the wildfire smoke. Wildfire impacts can be hard to predict exactly what stays up high, what comes down to the ground level. The best thing that folks can do is know where to get live air quality information.
His suggestion for that is for live minute-by-minute tracking from the EPA Fire and Smoke Map. That allows you to see where air quality sits right now, how it's trending, and they'll give you a recommendation for safe breathing outdoors.
Well, in this bad air today, the storm damage recovery continued. Take a look at this damage to a home in Middletown. Owners say they were shocked when a tree fell from their front yard right onto the rooftop. The family now left without a home after the storms ripped through Jefferson County on Sunday. Also new today, the National Weather Service survey team headed to Linden, their first review of damage in metro Louisville since the big storm, and they determined that straight line winds, not a tornado, caused the damage there in Graymore, Devondale.
Still, a reminder, those winds can be just as dangerous. One family lost their home after a tree fell right down on it, collapsing on the top of the structure. Alexis Jones reports on the damage to that house and how that family survived.
Thank God I was not here in the bed or Garrett. This is crazy.
A moment of relief after Sunday night's storm.
It's real surreal.
Just think of what could have been and, kind of how the Lord looked over us.
Garrick and Michelle Edison say they were relaxing in the living room when their son Golden noticed something strange in the sky.
It was like orange and like yellowish. So I immediately put on some shoes and ran downstairs because I told my mom and my dad.
Michelle says they didn't pay much attention until Golden and her husband saw strong winds pushing through Foxborough Drive.
They're running down the hallway. And he's yelling, babe, come on, we got to get in the basement right now. No sooner than I shut the door, you could just hear a boom.
Once the coast was clear, they walked back upstairs, fearful of what they would find.
And we looked up the stairwell and we were just like, oh my gosh, the tree is in the house.
Damaging several rooms inside.
We were all having a good time and then our lives changed in less than a minute.
Since then, the Edisons have been picking up the pieces. Wednesday, they tearfully watched as tree contractors handled the rest. According to National Weather Service meteorologist John Gordon, the damage in Louisville doesn't look like a tornado touchdown.
This is straight line wind so far.
Strong enough to destroy the couple's home, but thankfully they say it didn't take away what's most important.
We have each other, and that's what's important is that we all made it.
Now the Edisons are searching for a new home in the area. In the meantime, they're asking everyone for their prayers. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
Well, to help with the storm cleanup, Metro Public Works is opening up 3 sites for people to drop off their tree debris. The sites are on Meriwether Avenue, North Hubbard's Lane, and Lower River Road. They all opened up at noon today. They will stay open until July 8th, with the exception of Sunday and Tuesday, 4th of July. The locations are only for residents. We're told they're going to be checking your addresses when you do make your drop off. You can find more information posted at WHAS11.com.
And developing news tonight, a woman was found hiding in the woods today after police believe she stabbed a 6-year-old boy and a woman early this morning. She is now in LMPD custody.
Right now, the boy and the woman are in the hospital, both in serious condition. That little boy just getting out of surgery a short time ago. Metro Police got the call around 6:30 this morning. It happened on Bruns Drive. That's in a neighborhood right behind Kroger on Dixie Highway. Officers believe there was a fight between 2 women who are related. One of them stabbed the other and then stabbed the 6-year-old boy. The accused stabber here is 28-year-old Sequoia Porter, according to police. We're told she ran from police, officers eventually finding her in the woods right near the apartment complex. The 6-year-old is recovering after surgery this afternoon. The woman was also taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Police say there are several witnesses involved in this case, including children, and they will all be interviewed by the new non-fatal shooting squad.
And some tense moments in Butchertown today after a pneumonia leak at the JBS Swift meatpacking plant there. And the good news, the all clear came pretty quickly. This is file video of the plant on Story Avenue. Louisville firefighters responded to the gas leak this morning where they figured out it is ammonia. Plant workers were evacuated quickly and nobody was hurt. Louisville Fire's hazmat unit stayed on the scene for air monitoring today to make sure no more leaks occurred.
Special response team there and several other local agencies rushing to the Ford Kentucky truck plant today, but this was not a real emergency. Instead, it was active shooter training. It has been more than 2 months since the Old National Bank mass shooting, and first responders at Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS are staying prepared in the event tragedy strikes again. WHAS11's Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton walk us step by step through that simulation today.
Well, the key for this training was making sure it was as realistic as possible, both in the response times as well as care for the victims. Simulating a day that starts off calm,
we have shots fired,
and within seconds,
first floor.
Chaos ensues.
Shots fired on the first floor.
Not long after, a special response team, dozens of police and ambulances rush on scene.
You've got multiple casualties and multiple subjects injured in the bathroom.
When those folks are running in, they're driven. Their mind is one way, and that's getting people out of harm's way and saving lives.
Jordan Yotis, spokesperson for Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS, says it's the largest active shooter training they've hosted.
They weren't given any specific information other than they were responding to an active aggressor.
They chose the Ford Kentucky truck plant because of its size and number of staff, simulating a mass shooting situation from start to end, including communications through dispatch, letting crews know when the threat is neutralized.
Suspect is down.
Dozens of people representing victims throughout the building rushed out, and EMS workers were right there to render aid.
Please alert all local hospitals.
Real nurses and chaplains also set up on site. The pain and fear from April 10th still resonates in the community.
It reminds our folks and the folks that work here in Anchorage Middletown that this could happen later on today.
But Yotis says as first responders, they must take that heartbreak and turn it into action.
You have to have that mindset of, if it happens, am I prepared? Am I prepared? What am I going to do? How am I going to react?
Let's go. And be ready to respond to the unthinkable at a moment's notice. In Louisville, Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Also here tonight at 5 as a possible summertime strike is looming for one of Louisville's biggest employers. Today, the UPS Teamsters making noise by holding a practice picket as contract negotiations continue with the worldwide delivery company. Again, the union holding up signs today that say the just practice for a just contract. The union has been negotiating a new contract with UPS since April, but the UPS Teamsters have already voted to authorize a strike if they do not reach a fair deal, a contract by July 31st. The union represents roughly 340,000 UPS workers, and dozens were out there today practicing this picket line.
I am very energized by the members today. As you saw, they were chanting, they were involved, carrying signs. They're very involved. As you may know, we had a strike authorization vote already, and the membership here voted 99% to authorize a strike if need be.
The National Teamsters Union tweeted within the last hour that they demand a fair and final offer from UPS no later than June 30th. And if they don't get it, they'll strike after July 31st. And on your screen right now, UPS gave us this statement today. We are making steady progress in our negotiations with the Teamsters on a wide array of issues. Even so, we are not surprised to see some union members making their voices heard. We plan and expect to reach agreement on a new contract before the end of July that is a win for our employees, our company, and customers and the union. That's from UPS today.
An Indiana man charged with killing 2 teenage girls confessed multiple times in his phone call to his wife from prison. Newly released court documents say Richard Allen told his wife he killed 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German. The girls' bodies were found on Valentine's Day in 2017 just outside of their hometown in Delphi. A judge unsealed the motion describing Allen's confession along with more than 100 filings in the case. Allen was arrested in October of 2022 on 2 counts of murder.